Hi guys, we are going to read the book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi, and we are reading this book because we are going to improve our English communication, and we gonna read one chapter a day until the book ends. And we are reading for we are reading this book for improving our communications and how to talk with people, and this gonna help to improve our English. Let's start reading. So, in introduction part, the author is saying that he realized after so long that he have to follow the Miyamoto Musashi techniques or way of life of living. You can download this book and you can read by it alone. And now I'm starting the chapter 1, the groundwork. Strategy is the craft of the warrior. Commanders must enact the craft, and troopers should know this way. There is no warrior in the world today who really understand the way of strategy. They are talking about strategy. It is a craft of the warrior. Commanders must enact the craft. Let me know the what is the meaning of this translation. To pass a law. And troopers should know this way. There is no warrior in the world today who really understand the way of strategy. There are various ways. There is the way of salvation by the law of Buddha, the way of Confucius governing, the way of learning, the way of healing as a doctor, as a poet teaching, the way of Waka, tea, archery, and the many arts and skills. Each man practices as he feels inclined. It is said that the warrior is the twofold way to open and sword, and he should have taste for both ways. Even if a man has no natural ability, he can be warrior by sticking assiduously to both divisions of the way. Generally speaking, the way of the warrior is resolute acceptance of death, although not only warriors but priests, women, peasants, and lowlier folk have been known to die readily in the cause of duty or out of shame. This is the different thing. The warrior is different in the studying the way of strategies based on overcoming men. By victory gained in crossing swords with individuals or in joining battles with the large numbers, we can attain power and fame for ourselves of our land or our land. This is the virtue of strategy. The way of strategy. In China and Japan, practitioners of the way have been known as master of strategy. Warriors must learn this way. Recently, there have been people getting on the world as strategists, but they are usually just sword fencers. The attendants of Kashima Kantori shrines of the province Hitachi received instruction from the gods and the maid school based on the teaching traveling from country to country instructing men. This is recent meaning of strategy. In olden times, strategy was listed among the 10 abilities and 7 arts of beneficial practice. It was certainly an art, but as beneficial practice, it was not limited to sword fencing. The true value of sword fencing cannot be seen within the confines of sword fencing technique. If we look at the world, we see he arts for salesmen use equipment to sell their own selves, as if with the nut and the flower, the nut has become and flower less than the flower. In this kind of way of strategy, both those teaching and those learning the way of concerned with the coloring and showing of their technique, trying to bastion the bloom of the flower, hasten the bloom of the flower. They speak of this dojo. That dojo they are looking for profit. Someone once said, immature strategy is the cause of grief. The cause of grief. Great sadness. That was the true saying. There are four ways in which men pass through life as gentlemen, farmers, artisans and merchants. The way of the farmer using agricultural instruments he sees springs through the autumns with an eye on the channel change of season. Second is the way of merchant. The winemaker obtains his ingredients and puts them to use to make his living. The way of the merchant is always to live by taking profit. This is the way of merchant. Thirdly, the gentleman warrior carrying the weaponry of this his way. The way of the warrior is to master the virtue of his weapons. If a gentleman dislikes strategy, he will not appreciate the benefits of weaponry. So must he not have a little taste for this? Fourthly, the way of the artisan, the way of carpenter is to become the proficient in the use of his tools. First, to lay his glance with the true and measure the then perform his work according to plan. Thus he passes through life. These are the four ways of the gentleman, the farmer, the artisan, and the merchant. Comparing the way of carpenter to strategy. So this is for today, guys, and we're gonna read after this tomorrow. I hope you enjoy this video, and you have to like this video and subscribe for our next videos. And you have to read by yourself and understand what he's talking about in this book, and what we read before, and we're gonna read this tomorrow. So thanks.